Greetings again. Welcome back to another Records Unboxing. Look, I really need this one after a very challenging week of work. Yeah, look, it's great to see the spoils of my toil. I don't know, spoils. Anyway, yeah. So this one is from good old trusty Dusty Groove. Yeah, they're awesome. Haven't unboxed it yet, haven't cut it or anything, you know the deal. It's a pretty big one again. So yeah, let's get the cracking. Well, alrighty, let's get cracking into this one. Alright. Oh, might be a bit of spoiler there. Just hold that up. There's not much covering here today. Cushioning, covering. Yeah, it would have been spoilers. I did get a tiny bit of spoiler. That's okay. Oh, this sideways. That's. I might just flip the box around. Well, you can hear the bogans are out to play. And Pepsi doesn't like bogans. So there may be a little bit of extra noise today because I've actually got a temporary wall pulled down here in my little, well, I'll say man record room cave thing. So there's more outside noise. So apologies in advance of that. I cannot control the neighborhood, nor too much my old dog up there barking at the world. Here we go. Firstly, okay, this one was a decent price, and it's near mint minus of a record that's actually, when I read the reviews, it's actually quite highly rated for this artist, and that is John McLaughlin, Where Fortune Smiles. It does have Dave Holland as well on bass there, and I think the other three have played with McLaughlin before on some other records, not as well known as Sam Martin and Berger. Yeah, so this is a $9 US, near mint minus. I think it might be a later version though, but I don't care. So it sounds good. Interesting cover. That sort of very early 70s, late 60s sort of thing. Yeah, so I think I'm trying to remember when this one was actually recorded. It was 69, but this release might have been about 72, I think. This I might be wrong. This might be the thing, but anyway, yeah, there we go. New York City, 1969. So this is on Pi Records, which is interesting. Which I believe is British in it, I think. Maybe I might be wrong. Oh no, there we go. Look, 1970. That's what you get for not reading. 1975 press. So I think the thing is of this, it's probably released after Mahavishnu Orchestra and all that became well known. La la la. So they're probably going, oh, let's get the reissue in of this and probably do a bit of cash in on that, which is fine because to be honest, the earlier, probably the better. 69. So that'll be some interesting, probably, fusion, pre-fusion around, obviously, Miles Davis Bitches Brew time when John McLaughlin, Dave Holland were getting part of Miles staying. So yeah, that'll be cool. All right, next. This one, ooh, yeah, I forgot about this. This is a reissue. So this is a brand new reissue, first ever vinyl reissue of just awesome drummer. You will know him as Bernard Purdie. On here, he is on the marquee, as said, as Pretty Purdie and the Playboys. Even though, they show him twice. Bernard Purdie twice. So, Yeah, I don't know about this Playboys thing, but anyway, I think that's just a bit of extra stuff. This is Stand By Me. What you see is what you get. I believe there's a bunch of covers on here, and you can see from, well, the first title and then the bracketed title. That's two different songs. So if we look here, first ever vinyl reissue 1971 soul jazz classic, and you can see here that's quite interesting, hey, because it's saying it's got Gill, Scott, Heron, Cornell, Dupree, Sheldon Powell, Howard Wheeler. So they must be the Playboys. Yeah, so this is going to be really interesting. And again, cracking year 1971, around the time he was probably doing stuff with Aretha, and a bunch of other people. But this is put out by Real Gone Music, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're Flying Dutchman, I was just about to say. And especially with Gil Scott Heron was on the Flying Dutchman at that time. So, yeah, you can see Spanish Harlem. I think You Got a Friend there is also the cover, Stand By Me. Never Can Say Goodbye. Turns up on so many LPs, covered by lots of jazz and jazz soul, jazz funk musicians. What You See Is What You Get. Great song, dramatic by the Dramatics. And It's Too Late. I'm guaranteeing it's going to be the Carly Simon It's Too Late. But I've heard that being covered before, and usually in a really nice way. Yeah. Oh, hello there. Hello, Bernard. Popping your head up there. Yeah, so that's going to be really nice. I don't know if it's gatefold. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Oh, very nice. I might have to check that out, the gatefold. Well, that is too cool for school. Look how good that is. That's very nice. You've got a bit of a photo of Gil Scott Heron. So the Playboys, according to the photos here, consist of Bernard Purdie, Pretty Purdie, Mr. Purdie, and Gil Scott Heron. In the smaller photo, I mean, look at that, it's quite unusual. It's like big photo, big photo, big photo. Oh, I just got a smaller photo here. Although, I mean, there's so much room that it could have enlarged that photo to fit that space. But anyway, we won't talk about ego here. Yeah, but that's fantastic. I'm really digging the fact I got that nice gatefold there. Sorry, I opened it up and it did the nice new gatefold creak. You know, like so. That's always gratifying to hear the new gatefold creak. Alrighty. Enough of Pretty Purdy. Boys. Next one. Okay, this one, look, I don't usually like to get best of before getting other stuff. Sometimes they're a good sort of gateway drug as such into the rest of someone's catalog. But I do have some from this awesome guitarist, but I have his 70s CTI stuff. So I don't have anything of his, I don't believe, prior to CTI on LP. I believe he was on Impulse. I don't know if he was on some other things as well. He might have been. So I thought, look, I'm going to snap this up because sometimes his stuff is quite expensive still. And by sometimes I mean pretty much all the time. And that is Gabor Jabot. And this is the best of. Now, I believe there's more than one best of around these years you can get. I think I've seen another one. It might have been the 2 LP. I'm pretty sure this is just the 1 LP. It might be Gatefold, but yeah. But for the lovely price of $10 US, very good plus, and the condition it was said to be in, because it looks in really nice OG condition, then I thought, yeah, I can handle that. That was obviously listed on the website, but yeah, I don't care about that. So yeah, look, I'm gonna get myself some convenient Jabot. I don't know. I'm saying Jabot. I believe it's Polish. So look, there's lots of covers, but hey, sometimes that stuff sounds really good. So that'll be very interesting. It is in a gatefold, so I'll swish that open. Now, I know this is not a new LP, but to get the full immersion experience, I'll see if we can get a bit of gatefold creak. Okay, can't guarantee it because this is not new. Oh, a little bit of squeak. Yeah, wow, still got a little bit of the squeaky creak there. All right, wow, well, gotta love me a gatefold. Hey, how nice is that? Oh gee, a little bit of stain. Who cares about that? It's still pretty decent for the age. I'm not sure when this one was put out. It was like around about 1969, something like that, maybe. So I'm not sure if it's a mid-70s reissue or anything, but it's pretty much the part of, late 60s. So let's have a look here what we've got and see if we can see any other awesome people that are really well known. Richard Davis there, yeah. Sadeo, Watanabe on flute. Wow, okay. Grady Tate, yeehaw, like myself some Grady Tate on drums. He's on there again. Willie Rodriguez percussion, he turns up sometimes. Let's see. Pretty Patty, wow. Speak of the Playboy. He's on there twice there. Bob Bushnell on guitar there. I thought Bob Bushnell was more of a bass, but anyway, I might be wrong. Chico Hamilton, Ron Carter, Willie Bobo. Nice, so nice selection there. On impulse. Exclamation mark. All right, so yeah, groovy. Groovy. Next. All right, thanks, Gabor. All right, next one. Now, this one I got because it got marked down, and I've heard this being reviewed as quite favorable. It's a good cheap one. I do have a couple of records by this gentleman, but later stuff. So this is more, early. This is 50s jazz. I don't buy a heap of that. Because number one, it doesn't always sound the best in terms of recording, and number two, sometimes it gets a bit generic at that stage. But for the price of $5 US, I thought I'd give it a crack, even though I know the cover is not the greatest, and that's okay by me because of the age. And that is Jerry Mulligan Sextet, or presenting the Jerry Mulligan Sextet. Now it is on the NRC label. What's that, like early, the Jazz Mercury, product of Mercury group, so it's on the MRC label, which is nice. I'm gonna say this is in mono, quite comfortably. I'd say this is mono, especially if it's of that time. Hi Jerry, hiding in the shadows there. Come out of the shadows. But yeah, it still says very good plus, so hopefully, the vinyl will still be great. So let's have a look. You can see on the back it looks like quite a 50s affair there, doesn't it? But that's okay. But yeah, let's have a look in here. I'm not sure what we've got here. Okay, so Bernie's tune. I've heard of that somewhere before. Lady is a Tramp. Okay, so this one, I mean, there might be some stands and stuff on here. We're talking probably mid to maybe even earlier 50s. I'm not sure. It might be about 54, maybe 55. That's just me guessing off the top of my head because I can't see. Anyway, I can see a printed in USA. I can see an MRC. There might be something in the notes. But anyway, what about on the side there? What we got there? Oh no, just the listing. Okay. All right, now I'm going to be honest. I know of Dave Bailey. John Early, no. Sorry. Bob Brookmeyer, yes. His name turns up a lot on trombone. And Peck Morrison, on some of the earlier stuff. But I can't pick anything where I've got any of this stuff off the top of my head. So yeah, look, it's older school jazz, sort of like in terms of, you know, bop era sort of stuff, probably. And yeah, we'll see how we go with that for the price. Next, okay, now, that's right. So I saw this baby listed, and I never knew of this album at all. And I am taking a big just shot in the dark on this one, based on reputation and other stuff I've heard. So yeah, look, this one's gonna be a nice surprise. I purposely thought, no, I'm not gonna preview this on YouTube or anywhere. I'm just gonna go in blind, go hard in blind, and be optimistically presently surprised. But I did read about it, and this is Joe McPhee, and it's called Black Magic Man. And from the looks of it, it looks like a very indie sort of thing here. But this, I believe, is a collection of sort of like, well, not outtakes, tracks, studio tracks that were not included on his early 70s stuff when he was doing Nation Time, I believe. So that was the thing. Now here it says, you know, it's 1977, but I don't. Oh, let's say 1975. What? Anyway, but from what I read, yeah, so down there it's saying copyright 75. But anyway, I didn't want to read too much. I didn't want to go in too much. I thought this should be very interesting. So I can't really tell you much about it, except it would have been recorded up in New York, like New York State, not New York City, I think, you know, where he was located at the time. Yeah, so you see there, it's saying, there's the concert tour, yeah, of the college. That's when he did Nation Time. See, 1970. I'm pretty sure that's the same place recording concert at. So, as I said, there's some tracks here that are like, they weren't issued at the time of Nation Time, and then some other stuff. So kind of a compilation-y sort of thing here. But yeah, look, this will be cracking, hopefully. Really interesting sort of grayscale artwork too. It just makes it look really indie, hey? Which is nice. And sorry, I can't see under here. First release on Hot Record, one of the key European jazz labels of the 70s. First time vinyl reissue, there you go. So yeah, it was issued in the 70s, probably 70s, what was it, 75 or 7, yeah. Yeah, well, 77. Some stuff recorded in 75. Yeah, look at that. That's him there with a globe and eagle head or something. Rolling them wheels there. All right, here we go. Next. This one, I do have on CD. I actually got not long ago for a very, very reasonable price, and I couldn't pass that up. But hey, vinyl is superior. So I got this, and especially when the price was superior and the condition was pretty much superior. And that is Billy Cobham, Alive Mother for Ya. Alive Mother for Ya. Near mint minus $7. Bam. So yeah, look. This should be pretty cool. It has Steve Kahn and Alfonso Johnson is on bass, which is nice. So yeah, it's a live mother for you, and it's a promo. It's promo. So this is probably why, again, it's the mint minus, probably hasn't really been touched much or at all. But yeah, a live mother for you, being that it's alive. 1977, maybe really 78. Let's have a look. What's that say there? 78? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit blurry. All right. So yeah, Billy Cobham, Storman drummer. Here we go. Next, now I've been off this one for a while as a key one from this little man in his band. I was just waiting for the right price. This is a reissue, but it's and a recent reissue, recent-ish. But I thought for the price, it's time to do it. And that is Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers Mosaic. So this has got a great line. Look at that lineup. Freddie Hubbard, Curtis Fuller, Wayne Shorter, Cedar Walton, Jamie Merritt. You can read. But yeah, one of the classics. So I've got a ton of Jazz Messengers now, but this is probably one of the key ones I was still after. You go, $20 near mint minus. Yeah, look, it's a reissue, so $20, yeah, but it is near mint minus, so hopefully it's going to be almost like it's new. Just a little bit of tiny wear starting there, but a little bit of a mark, but nothing heinous. What are we talking about here? About 1961, maybe, or even earlier? I'm just not sure what it's saying. Is it going to tell me? Nah. I'll tell you later right about here. Okay. But yeah, might be a bit earlier. But anyway, how cracking is this? And some nice stretched out tracks, because you can see here Mosaic, Down Under, Children of the Night, only 3 on the first side, and then second side we've got Arabia, and then Crisis. So 5 tracks, but stretched out. Blue Note. It is a UME reissue. It's a bucko, but hey, as long as it sounds nice and in good condition, and the cover looked nice, I'm very happy about that, to tick that one off. Alrighty, cracking along. This one, the price was pretty decent. Reissue, brand new. Although, yeah, that part looks slightly, oh no, that's just a pucker. Do you call it? Puckered, the shrinky. Yeah, look, I've got a fair few of this lovely soul man, but got to get some of the key ones around the 72, 73 era. And this one fits right there, being Al Green's I'm Still in Love with You. With Fat Possum, who are trying our best. But yeah, reissue, Fat Possum reissue. $18 is 180 grammer, so that's nice, very nice. So for a brand new reissue, 180 gram, I'm happy with that. We got there though the classic Love and Happiness, which I suppose helped make this more of a known Al Green one. And after Let's Stay Together, I believe it was after Let's Stay Together. It's not showing the year here, which is interesting. It's just showing the copyright and all that thing, year. But I think it's about 1970, I'm going to say 72, 73, somewhere around there. It is not 1923. It's not Al Green doing some ragtime stuff. Whatever, doing the Charleston. I don't even know that was that's probably later. But yeah, we've got the high rhythm section there still. Cracking tight team with their awesome sound. It is still produced by Willie Mitchell. He's still on board with Al Green for a few more years. So look, classic stuff. I don't believe it's gatefold. Is that a gatefold? No, that's a. Oops, sorry. I think that's just a fold over there. Doesn't feel like a gatefold. Well, I might be wrong, but anyway. All right. About time I had that one. Al Green, I'm Still in Love with You. Next, I had put this LP off for a while because I was after stuff from this artist that was earlier. I was a little bit suspicious of this one. I think I'd heard it, but I've sort of come around to a bit more now. I've got his earlier stuff. But this one hits, I believe, the 1975 mark. The, the pre, not post 1975. So it's 1975, smack there on the cusp of that crucial year. But I couldn't pass it up again. And I like the cover. And that's Ayeto, and that's Identity. And look, I paid a little bit for this one, 15 US, but it is very good plus. So, I want to make sure if I'm going to get it, I might as well get a decent copy. I don't believe it is gatefold, no. A little bit of wear and stuff, a little bit of sticker mark, but hey. And look, I'm sure it's starting to get a little bit cleaned up in terms of, or maybe slicked up, but from what I heard, not too much here. Look, artists, I know, have to evolve. So let's have a look what we got here. All right. I don't know if that's highlighted by somebody. I think so, yeah, because you can see there's little pen marks. At least that sort of almost fades in with the other sort of beigey motif and stainy. It almost looks like a stain there, so that's okay. I'm wanting to see who else is on here, if there's anybody of particular significance. I'm sure they're all very lovely people. Oh, David Amaro. Okay, that's the name. But no. Oh, there's Flora. Hey, Flora. She's on some vocal. And it looks like the others might be, I'm going to guess, Brazilian, except for sneaking down there. Look at that. Sneaky, sneaky Wayne Shorter. Sneaky, sneaky Herbie Hancock. Hey? All right. Sorry, I don't know why this is not going into better focus. But anyway. Yeah, so 1975, it is on Arista, so it's post-CTI Eto. But there'll be some goodness definitely in there, I'm sure of. I think I'm only really on after one more of his, maybe the year after. I think it's 1976, Promises of the Sun. I'd probably give that a crack. Anything after that, I'm like, and even 1976 is pushing it. All right, next up. Now, this one, I'm going to be honest, is I have this, but I bought a replacement copy. I bought a copy of this a few years ago, many, I can't even how many years ago, from the same people, from Dusty Groove. But I got like a very good minus then at like, I don't know, $2 or $3. So I thought, look, I'm not losing a lot there to get a very good plus copy, just so I can, play it and not feel like I'm wrecking my stylus. And that is Cameo's Feel Me. Okay. Well, metaphorically feel you, yeah? Okay. So, yeah, this is them at about 1980. So there's still some goodness in here. There's still some live playing. This is pre-Word Up and all that stripped down band, electro nonsense. But, it's still getting a bit slicky because they want to sell the records to the kids back in the day. But, yeah, there's some decent songs on here. Some nice production, some nice playing, and there's still, as you can see there, the full band deal. With some of their great players on there. And, yeah, so, look, it's on Casablanca and their little Chocolate City offshoot label there. And, come on, people, come and focus. 1980. That says 1980, by the way. Yeah? Ooh, in the haze there. But, yeah. So that is a replacement copy. So I just hope maybe there's an insert or something in there, but I'm not going to check now. But at least between two copies, I can pick the better one, I suppose. Moving right along now. This one I'm excited about. This is one I paid a bit more for. I think the most in here, maybe. and sort of bundled things around, because once I saw this was reissued and just recently released as a reissue, I went, yeah, I'll get me some of that, because it's not easy to get and not easy to get a decent price. However, I do believe this is like from about 1976. So again, it is post 75 rule, and I have 3 of this gentleman's previous albums that are really good. So I'll be interested to see what happens with this with Eddie Henderson and Heritage. It is a Blue Note, as you can see. So they've got their Blue Note audiophiles classic vinyl series reissue stickers still are happening, but this was just re-released like a month or 2 ago or whatever, very, very recently. Look, as reissues go these days, it's pretty standard US price for this sort of thing, $26. 180 gram pressing, that's a nice little extra bonus if it's, if it's still not warped or whatever. But yeah, look, Eddie Henderson, I think he's very underrated. Did some great stuff with Herbie Hancock, Mwandishi band stuff, post Miles Bitches Brew stuff that sounds better than most of Miles Davis's 70s output, to be honest, in my opinion, because this guy could still play. He was actually playing and Miles was losing it, no matter what people want to say. So, yeah, I think he's way too underrated, particularly his first 3 albums. I've still got to get the ones after this, but probably not so much. They're still expensive, but yeah, they're very much post 75. So let's see here. I'm just going to try to crack back here and see if it will focus. If I go in, will it focus better? Here we go. Anyway, let's have a look who we've got on board. Now, this is also a cracking reason why, okay? So, we've got Julian Priester on trombones, who was also in Wandishi. We've got Patrice Rushen, was really coming very much into play and prominent around this time, post her sort of later R&B slant. So I'm just going to try to get that glare off there. Okay, I do not know who Hadley Coleman is. Is it Coleman or Calaman? It's just hard to see. Calaman. But we know who Paul Jackson is, because again, long time was, with Headhunters as well. We've got Ntume, again, pre-80s R&B stuff. And he's doing some congas. He's doing some piano as well, miscellaneous percussion. We got Mr. Mike Clark on drums. So again, OG on the Headhunters band. And Billy Hart there, even on drums, comes in, who again I believe was Wandishi band as well, from memory. So, with those credentials, we should be onto a good thing. Also, we've got some recording mixing engineered by Fred Catiero, who worked with Hancock a lot of the time. So, looking forward to seeing what that is all about, especially for the price. Now, next up, an artist I've been getting a fair bit of lately, particularly late 60s, well, pretty much start of 70s stuff onwards until his death in, I think, 75. Don't hold me to that, but it's around there. And this was one of his last ones he did. I don't think this one was posthumous. I think this was just before. About a year before. And that is Gene Ammons with Brass Wind. It's wind under there. Brass Wind. It even says on the sticker anyway. Look, I paid $15 for this, but it is near mint minus. So, it's almost new, except for this little sticky there, which I can handle at the moment. And yeah, I've listened to this and it's pretty damn cool. It is on Prestige, which is very nice. Love the late 60s, early 70s Prestige stuff. It's 1974, so we're probably starting to change up a little bit, but there is some nice stuff on here. I think there's a mixture of moods. So I don't think, there's some, I think, mellower stuff if I remember, which I don't remember a lot. I just remember the impression going, yeah, that's pretty damn good. I'm going to get me some of that. And if you notice too, we've got George Bohannon on trombone there. And of other note, we've got Mr. George Duke keys, and we've got Carol Kay. That Carol Kay coming in with the goods on a Prestige album, and it's nice to see you get credit on bass, obviously. Kenneth Nash, I've seen on lots of stuff. So, yeah, given that, and that I like that photo. That's a very cool photo. Very nice. Yeah. So later, Ammon stuff. As I said, probably a year before he died. Oh, the other thing is it's like arranged, conducted by David Axelrod. That's why it's got a little bit of a different flavor here, I think, in terms of comparing to the slightly earlier Prestige ones he did over the last couple of years. But yeah, it just gives it a more of a coming towards the mid 70s sort of thing, but definitely not disco and not post 70s. So, yeah, cracking, Neiman minus, lovely. Moving on. Now this one, I paid a bit. Oh, this is another one I paid a bit for. I forgot about this. Absolutely forgot. This one is again a new sort of reissue from a like 70s stuff. It was recorded later in the 70s. So again, that's the trick here though. So it's not earlier like dirty funk sort of stuff. But I thought because it seems a bit more indie, I'm going to give this a crack. And this is by an obscure band called Record Player and Free Your Mind. So not like Funkadelic Free Your Mind. This is being named after the fact. And it's a now again reissue. The full album recorded in the late 70s and released and unreleased until now. There you go. And a booklet. They're from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, where so many great funk bands came from. You know, Ohio players. And Bootsy from around that area. And he's from Cincinnati. And then Zap and yeah, la la la. Phaso. Anyway, lots of people from there. So, this was, it says, Record Player privately pressed and issued a solitary 45. So this is like, yeah, old school unreleased. And again, I'm giving it a bit of a crack. I didn't want to, I sort of making this a punt. A bit of an expensive punt at 26 US, but hey, it's getting harder to find old obscure 70s stuff that could be funky-ish. So hey, I thought, well, take the opportunity. We'll see how we go. Can't tell you anything about the songs or the band much, except for the Ohio bit, and I'm sure the booklet will help out greatly with that. Now, I've taken the liberty of just cutting open the shrinky just to actually get the booklet out. This is an opportunity, which I haven't looked at yet. So a little bit of a book, lots of writing, not so much pictures, but that might be obviously their 45 they released independently, whatever. So yeah, look, not the biggest booklet in the world, but there's a lot of info at least from a very obscure band. So look, I'll take that. It's probably not a lot of photos of these guys if they didn't really last long or release the LP for whatever reason. So yeah, I'll take that. Alrighty, cracking along. next up. Now, I did talk about this gentleman just before. So I won't say too much because I've already said a bit about this, but I was talking about Gene Ammons and his death in, I think, about 75. Well, this one, you can see that the title is, Goodbye. Last ever recording session featuring Nat Adderley, Gary Bartz, and Kenny Drew. And look at the price, great. $8, very good plus. Again, I did check this one out. Mixture of sort of tracks on here, but there was some really nice stuff. So yeah, like this was nice to get because it was recorded. Yeah, look at that, about the same time as the other one around. Yeah, in 74. So look, that becomes a bona fide LP as such. It's not really a posthumous sort of release as such, even though it was released in 75, possibly, as I said, after he passed, which I think he probably did. If I read that, yeah, there. Less than 5 months later, his then undetected cancer had killed him. So yeah, it's a posthumous release as such, but it was a pre-planned recording, and just the untimely death. It would have been obviously released when he was still alive, had it not been for undetected cancer. So that sucks. And who else we got in here? Yeah, well, we got Sam Jones on bass and Louis Hayes on drums. You see them together, and Ray Barretto on conga. So that's a great lineup there, isn't it? That's a really cracking lineup. But yeah, I just remember this has sort of got a mixture of styles, but which is nice. There's some variety here, but I think there's a balance of about half, sort of half a bit more up tempo, and I think there's a bit more slower tempo ones as well. And look, I mean, this can't be planned, but recording a song called Goodbye, and then passing 5 months later. I mean, we don't want to go too much into juju and omens and and that sort of coinky-dink stuff, but it's kind of apt in one way, unfortunately. But yeah, so Gene Ammons, we'll say goodbye to Gene Ammons for now. Next, something completely different. This one is sort of because one, just to get for a couple of reasons. I do have one of these guys' albums. It's okay. It's alright, as the kids would say. It's alright. It's probably getting a bit more towards the clubby side of things. I have listened to it. It's not bad. It's okay, but it's not above 3 stars. But, for me. It's on Westbound too, but the later Westbound, post Funkadelic Westbound. But it's no way Funkadelic. It's Fantastic Four with BYOF. Bring Your Own Funk. So that's the Mr. whatever, stretchy guy. That must be the Thing. That's the Human Torch, whatever. And is that, like, what's her name? Invisible Girl? I don't know. Sorry, I'm not very much up on my Marvel Fantastic Four. Enough of that silly dad joke. But anyway, yeah, look, they're a vocal group. This one's a bit clubby. It's all right, especially when we get Super Lover. I just want to be ya, baby. Not your baby, it's ya, baby. Shout, let it all hang out. That is, by the way, before Tears for Fears. And it's let it all hang out, not let it all hang out. But anyway, Sexy Lady. But you'll notice, look whose name is on every song credit. Mr. Quorfy, Mr. Dennis Quorfy is all over this album. So that makes it really interesting. But this is when he's doing his, later sort of, I won't say disco, well, sort of disco, clubby thing, post 75, because this is what, 78? Let's have a look. Yeah, there it is, 78, Shut the Gates. So, yeah, you know, that's when he's also doing, got him in my head, CJ and Co. CJ and Co, yeah. So he's doing that production on that. So I would say no doubt he's playing guitar in here somewhere, to be honest. But tight disco guitar, probably more like his Sweet Taste of Sin or whatever it's called, LP. But yeah, it is BYOF. Bring your own funk. So they're still putting the funk in the title, but look at this. Look, sneaky cheeky. Oh, what's sneaking under here? Oh, behaves itself. Promo. All right, so that's nice too. Very good plus. Bit of fun. All right, next up. Now this one I'd passed off for a while, a couple of years. I'd passed up on this because it was like, I was like, oh, debating, it's too much. And then it went and couldn't get it anymore. Just recently, you know, it was always hanging around, and then I saw it come back up as a near mint minus, and I thought, well, at least it's nearly new, and it's about the same price it was. It's put out by Now and Again, and look, it's technically not an LP, it's an EP. Really? An EP here, but it is Isaac Hayes and the Bar-Kays. I love how that rhymes with Do Your Thing. Not even thing, it's Do Your Thing. Now this is, whoa, falling over, number one. But this is the apparently full, unedited, really long version, 30-minute or whatever, version of a song that appeared on the Shaft LP, the 2LP. But yeah, this is the Slammin' Jammin' full version. And the other reason I thought this would be nice to get is because I believe it comes with a booklet, which we'll find it there. So here it is there. Billed as Isaac Hayes and the Bar-Kays. They get their name on there as well, or at least their band name. It's on Now and Again Records. It came out a couple of years ago, I believe, as a special thing. I was going to say thing, but I couldn't say thing because this one's about Do Your Thing, not Do Your Thing. Just see any years on here. Not on that part. But what I might do is check, because I think it does have a booklet. Yes, and there it is. And yeah, very minimalist cover there to mimic the LP cover, and that, I kind of like that. It's just like that. Now I haven't opened this up yet, so let's see what's inside here. Oh. Okay. This tape was still rolling, so we just had fun with it. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's just a big old jam hole. Is that some charts? No, maybe. Or was that the oh, that's the tape box. We did the whole Shaft thing in 3 days. It was done. So that'll be an interesting little read there. Yeah, picture of the in borrow. Isaac Hayes. So yeah, bit of a booklet too. That's in really nice nick as well. So yeah, got it. That should be an interesting listen. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Next, now I completely do not remember. I forgot that I got this because I think I'm in an ahhing about it, to be honest, because I wasn't sure about what it was going to be like, and a bit like the record player LP I bought, because it was more expensive, but again, it's one of these reissues or whatever, or official reissues, that is, because this one apparently had been bootlegged a lot, and therefore it made it sort of rare and expensive, la la la. So look, I'm going with that in terms of the history of this. Yeah, a little bit about the hype and that, and it's the curiosity, because again, it's one of these more obscure things, and that is the Invaders doing LP spacing. Oh, hi, you can see me in there. Hello. So, yeah, look, it's 26. It is new, shining new in, as you can see in the shrinky still. And here we have Spacing Out is the epitome of psychedelic fun. An exceedingly rare album. Exceedingly rare. Sought out by rock, funk, soul, and hip-hop sample fiends. And bootlegged for decades. There you go. And you can read. But apparently, yeah, official re-release. And apparently here too, it was only ever issued in Bermuda. 1970, so nice and old. I like that. So it's a bit raw. I did have a bit of a listen, and yeah, it's a bit, yeah, it deserves another listen. I think I just need to sort of start again with this one as such. But again, I just didn't want to pass up sort of rare reissue sort of thing. Well, a reissue, sorry, of a rare LP because it's something obscure. Yeah, because I don't know any of these guys. I'm sure unless you know this band, you will know. But you know, there's nobody of sort of infamy and notoriety or whatever. So yeah, and we do have some a nice batch of tracks in terms of you know, quantity. That's good. But yeah, there's even got the Meters Look a PP. Look at Pipe. That's a cover too of the Meter, so that's interesting. It's Your Thing. Well, that I'm sure is the Isley Brothers. A couple other covers here. Can't Get Next to You, I'm sure. It's a cover as well. Anyway, enough said. Get into that another time. I don't know if there's a book or something in there. It is very, very likely there is, but I'm going to move on. All right, next up. Love this artist. Got stacks of his work. There's still stuff to get because, yeah, you're rarely ever going to be disappointed here. Just depends on the era. But I believe this is, is it late 60s or early 70s? I can't even remember. But it's, I'm going to get into this. Jimmy McGriff. It's a second-hand one. It was $12. It's very good plus, so that's great. The Way You Look Tonight. Now, it did feel a bit gatefold. I don't know, or is that just heavy? Oh, no, that's gatefold. We'll check that soon. Very minimal cover in that. I like it. Sultry there. In the little bit of light. With a bit of an afro back there, I can just see. But anyway, so, Jimmy Griff. I mean, yeah, come on. Some covers again. So, sort of hinting that this is going to be a bit mellower. Rather than a big smoky sort of organ grinding thing, I think. But let's have a look at the gatefold. Well, all right. So, nice old school gatefold here, just with a bit of ring wear in that. That's okay. There was no creaking. I don't think it's that old. Now, I cannot see a year on here. I'm going to guess it's late 60s, maybe 69. Because, well, firstly, because it's on Solid State Records. Now, I know they're quite active in the late 60s. I've got a few Solid State, not many. So that's firstly what it tells me. Secondly, just I know a lot of the early 70s stuff is kind of like, but there's just something about this one. So I'm sure I will give you a year flashing on the screen or something soon. But this is some fun stuff here. So you've got to get the voice ready for this one. A man and a woman, a quiet cocktail lounge, or dimly lit room. The soft and gentle moments that the fates dispense so seldom. The shedding of the psychological armor often needed to survive. Layers, and the music is the music Jimmy McGriff brings to them. To all of us, jazz, but the kind of jazz that bright fantasies emerge from. Intimate, even when upbeat. Melody to get lost in. A total experience created through the fingers of the organist. something to be captured and cherished. The way you look tonight. Sorry, couldn't resist that. And yeah, you can put your comments down below for that one. Anyway, yeah, okay. Although that's sort of got the early 70s cheese to it. But anyway, here we go. It's Jimmy McGriff. I kind of like that cover anyway. That's nice. So we'll see how we go. All right, back down to it now. Completely forgot I got this one. I was kind of thinking about this the other day. I was looking at this just the last couple of days on another site. I might have even been on Dusty going, do I have that? And I kind of had this feeling, do I have that? Do I not? Yeah, I do have that. And look, we're just continuing the run of this band into the 80s. And look, actually into the start of the 80s. And that is the Isley Brothers with Go All the Way. Go All the Way. This is 1980. Nice price there, $7. Nice tidy price. Very good plus as well. Nice tidy album. So look, yeah, it's just coming into the 80s with the Isley Brothers. I'm going to guess it's going to have the, side 1, side 2 mood thing here, where I can't even remember. I did preview this somewhere, but I might be wrong. Maybe they've stopped doing the side 1, side 2 thing. Yeah, like the side 1, the more funky thing, and side 2, the more ballad thing. But it might be with Don't Say Goodnight. It's Time for Love. They're still on the parts 1 and 2 thing. So, I'm going to be honest, Isley, by 1980, that really was starting to wear thin, but at least you're saying they're one song, not like, well, I mean, you should just call it one song anyway. I don't know. Do you call it one song or two? It's billed as one song each. I just don't know why they're bothering. Anyway, but here we go. This is the flavor of the day in terms of fashion, which the Ices sort of did. So if you really want to track, 70s funky fashion across, each year nearly, check out every Isley Brothers cover pretty much from like around, Harvest of the World and all that sort of stuff. Almost because they make sure they show their fashion off. And it's a real document of, 70s Americana, I suppose. Anyway, I felt a gate. Did I feel a gate? Ooh, I did. Ooh, sexy. So let's have a look at the gatefold goodness. And we get more of a fashion parade in the centre. But look, I like to have a gatefold. This one's got lyrics. I'm not sure how sing-alongable this stuff will be, but hey, there we go. Already saw a yeah, baby. Look at that. Just go all the way. Yeah, baby. Well, look, we'll see what the cusp of 1980 has in store for the Isley Brothers. It is still on their T-neck label, which is cool. We've still got the OG Isley older generation brothers with the new generation instrumental brothers plus cousin on a guitar, who just passed away lately, didn't he? I believe, which is not nice. What's his Jasper? Sorry, I just forgot his first name, which I feel really bad about. Chris Jasper, maybe. Yeah. Is it? Oh, well, that's Ernie Isley. My bad. Let's have a look. Hey, there's Chris Jasper. Yeah. Sorry, Ernie. Sorry, Chris. Should have noticed. It's just hard to see in this camera sometimes. Anyway, yeah. Don't want to dally too long, but that looks like it's in really, really nice nick. Hey, really, really nice. So yeah, $7 US. Hey. All right, next. Now, this one is one I made a compromise on. I'm going to be honest. I've been trying to just buy things at a very good plus, the mint minus or mint or brand new, whatever. But this one had been after a while on LP, and it has eluded me for a while, especially, at a decent price. So I'm compromising here for now. It might be one of those ones I replace. And it's a decent album. That's why I'm getting it in terms of this band. It's early. I think it's 78. Actually, no, it might be earlier than that. It might be like 77 or something. But anyway, but that is Cameo. And this is Cardiac Arrest. Now you can see, yeah. And I did know it was going to have some tears. So that's not very nice. And it does say very good. Now, I'm taking a bit of a gamble then because it was only, well, I mean, see, even $9 at that condition. So you can imagine what a very good plus and a near mint minus, it's going to be higher because this is probably one of the more highly regarded Cameo LPs, I'd say, of the time. I do have a copy of this that somebody gave me, but on CD, that is. Oh, look, there's a little bit of a flake up here, Governor. Now, so Cameo, Cardiac Arrest. There's some nice stuff on here, and again, it's Casablanca, but it's also on the Chocolate City subsidiary. So it's basically like a Casablanca records that Parliament were on at the time. And look, I'm going to be honest. For me, Parliament way better than Cameo. I know these guys are pretty good, but yeah, these good. There's some decent funk on here, but oh yeah, look. So we've got Postmodern's cool. So Rigor Mortis is cool. There's some decent songs on here, but yeah, the thing that really lets this LP down, I believe, and I think they've had this song on 2 LPs for some reason, and it is Twee City. It's the most skippable track. It is Find My Way. This Twee, just syrupy, crappy disco thing. It's just awful, honestly. It's almost embarrassing. In my humble opinion, that's the letdown. And then I think Stay By Your Side is one of those, Chuck, you need the ballad thing. But the other side, there's some nice, interesting funk on here. So there's enough redeeming qualities on here. So are we looking at somebody's belly button up close? Navel, we're getting sucked into the navel vortex. I think there's like, oh, that's a bit, because that's upside down, isn't it? So is this a gatefold? Is the thing? No, it's not. It's like they should have made that a gatefold because, well, not that you really probably want to see that person, sweaty belly or whatever. So you can see that way there. Look, we've got that part, and then it's connected to, this part. Anyway, Cardiac Arrest. So, yeah. Don't have much more to say about it, except hopefully my gamble is that, even though it says very good, maybe with a really good clean, it might even come to very good plus, and then I probably can get past all this nonsense and this thing that I'll just glue down when I've got time. Yeah, all right. But anyway, that's I think the run of Cameo I've now got, and there's only one other one I want to upgrade, I think, like the Feel Me LP. This one is better, though, than the Feel Me LP, as long as you can avoid vomiting over Find My Way. Alrighty, next. Now, we already talked about this gentleman. Wow, this is a big box of records. Okay, we already talked about this gentleman because I already had one of them, and I've got another one now. Oh, same record label, so this is really interesting. And I was a bit put off by the title, but then I had there's a little sneaky peeky. Then I had to listen to it. I went, no, actually, that's not bad. It's good. And this is more Jimmy McGriff, and this is A Bag Full of Blues. Now, I'm not the biggest on blues. I really like that cover, though. It's a nice illustration. Really nice. So that's cool. Yeah, look, and it's got Joe Newman on here too, so that's nice. But but it's got a bit of bluesy stuff, but it's not the whole thing is blues, because too much blues for me is just too much. Hence why I said too much. Yeah, $10, very good plus. So yeah, decent price because it's decent, really decent condition. This does feel again like a gatefold, tiny bit of wear there. But yeah, no, there's some really cool stuff on here, and you get a bit of look at that, get a bit of variety there. Yeah, now this one again I think is late 60s, might even be 68, or has it got a year? What's that say? There's tiny writing down there. Tiny. Oh, is it even going to go in focus? No, I'll just 1967. It says, trust me, that blur there says 1967. Solid state, yeah. So let's have a look at the gatefold. Yeah, baby, that's nice. That's what you want. Good old school gatefold there. Yeah, that's very cool. Bag full of blues. So I'm sure I'll get some value out of that, hey. And I'll just get you up to the lineup here so you can see that properly there. Drums, Mel Lewis, whose hand, I think, can you see his hand? Maybe you can see. And hardly his face. Richard Davis, yeah, he turns up on a fair few things. Saxophone, Jerome Richardson, and we've got the guitar as well, Barry Galbraith and Wallace Richardson. And yeah, that's right. So you can see, well, a guitar there. I don't know whose it is, but yeah, that gives it a bit of a different flavour in this LP as well. That we've got some guitar on as well, so a little bit of a fuller ensemble here. Yeah, cracking, and it looks in really nice. I mean, this is really solid. That's probably what solid state, but it's solid cover. Very solid. Yeah. All right. Counting down here now. This one's going to complete a run of LPs I've been getting from this artist who went solo in the early 70s. But this is going to complete my collection now that I've actually acquired quite quickly over the last year or so. This one, though, is a later one. In fact, I think this is what we would call a posthumous release. I'm pretty sure this is like the last official full LP by this artist, who sadly passed away way too young, and that is Minnie Riperton. Oops. Love lives for... come on. Love lives forever, Minnie. Yeah, so this one comes from 1980. I think it was recorded 1979. So there, this is the last official from her, and aptly completes my run. I'm pretty sure I've got now all of her solo LPs, or bona fide solo LPs. $8, very good plus. Yeah, look, sure it's later, Minnie, but hey, you know, got to complete the run here. And oh look, we've got a bit of Stevie Wonder, because Stevie was I think an early supporter, advocate, and collaborator with Minnie. So that's nice to see. We've got some other great players here too. A lot of the usual suspects. Harvey Mason there, Greg Phalanges on keyboards, got a bit of Lee Ritenour guitar action too, Paul Jackson on guitar there, great session play there, Hubert Laws there, and look at that, Mr. Michael Jackson there. That's interesting. I did not know that. Roberta and Peebo there on vocals on that one. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that stuff was like a posthumous decision, maybe to put them on there as a sort of, respectful thing. But because you can see here, all these nice little comments, quotes from these artists as well about her after her untimely death. But yeah, so poor Minnie, but yeah. So look, yeah, I've not even heard any of this. I just bought it sort of again blind and on reputation really, and as I said, to sort of be a completist in a way to complete the run for Minnie. So yeah, there's that one. Yeah, a couple more to go. Can you believe we're still going here? I can't believe I didn't even realize. I knew I bought some, but I didn't know it was this many. Anyway, this one. This is an interesting one I saw, and again, didn't really know anything about. And I just checked the a bit of the credentials, and I went, okay, I'm going to have me that. But yeah, I had not known about this album, to be honest. This is Ramsey Lewis, and it's Sugar. It's got Back to the Roots, but this one's on Cadet. Now, that's I think this is early 70s, like 1971 maybe. But this is with his second great trio, which is why I bought it, because this is where we've got Morris Jennings and Cleveland Eaton on here. So, hey, I just went, what? I thought I had all that stuff from the 70s, all their collaborations, and I didn't. So I was like, oh, as soon as I saw it, I went, yay. Yeah, a little bit of wear there. It is a very good plaster, apparently, still in terms of the vinyl. But I'm hoping for some nice goodness here. I have no idea. But I think there's some covers happening here. Yeah, we've only just begun. So that's a mellow one, I suppose. Fool on the Hill. Well, Beatles cover. That'll be interesting. I'm sure he's done. I know he did. Sorry, I know for a fact he did Beatles cover stuff in the late 60s. It's got He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. Pretty sure Since I Fell for You's a cover. Yeah, so anyway, looks like a fair few covers. But, hey, that was a nice bit of a find. And for, sorry, I didn't even mention the price, $4 US. Come on. $4 US to give that a crack. And add another early 70s Ramsey Lewis to my collection with that trio. Yeah, can't go wrong. Anyway, next up, this one. This one's been low on my list for a while because I rarely see this come up. A lot of the other LPs come up more so than this, well, particularly in Australia. So I can't talk for US, but even when I've been on sites, I rarely ever see this. And I kind of know a bit about this album. I have listened to it before. You know, it's a bit hit and miss in a way, but there's some nice stuff. And that's LaBelle's Pressure Cookin'. No G, Pressure Cookin'. I like that logo of LaBelle's there. That's kind of cool. Anyway, them ladies can sing. So, $5, by the way. $5, very good plus. So maybe it is a pretty common LP. In the States, a little bit beaten up cover in that. But hey, $5. But the thing that's really interesting about this one, from what I remember, is you'll see that there's this sort of two-part track here. There's something in the air, and then Revolution Will Not Be Televised, the Gil Scott-Heron song. So it's a cover of that, which is really interesting that they did that on here. So there's a bit of grit in here, you know. And look, yeah, I think there's a bit of different style here, but you know, some of it's kind of funky and stuff. So, and soul-y. So yeah, look, that's kind of cool. And year-wise, I forget what year this one is. It's around about 74 or 3 or I don't know. It's liner notes copyright 73. So I'll just take it as that's maybe 73. Yeah, so it's pretty early. Yeah, there you go. Even up there. 73. So it's, yeah, early in the piece. So, you know, it's pre-75. So it's still got some soul and grit to it. Yeah, on RCA. So it's nice to have that in the collection finally. And speaking of finally, one last LP to talk about. This one I've put off for years because I wasn't that convinced, to be honest. I don't know why. Maybe because it was a bit later in the piece for this artist. It is definitely post 75. That's probably why, to be honest. I sort of late 70s, 1978. Yeah. But look, there's some great artists on this LP, as usual for this collaborator person, producer. So I didn't pass it up this time for the $5 Very Good Plus. And that is some more Quincy Jones with sounds. ... It's basically sounds and stuff like that. Something sounds. I don't know if it says this and stuff like that on this side. Maybe it says on the other side. But this is the thing here. I don't know if you can see this. Look. It's hard to tell in the camera. You can kind of see it's very shiny. That's a shiny. Yeah, it's like very bronzy shiny. That's a lovely thing. In a sort of embossed. I can feel it's kind of embossed. So that's quite classy. But sounds, and there you go, and stuff like that. Interestingly enough, here we've got a cover of Tell Me a Bedtime Story, which is Herbie Hancock, and that's from his, I believe, Fat Albert Rotunda LP from, what's that, 1970? I think, 1970. Also, we've got a cover of Stevie Wonder's Superwoman, Where Were You When I Needed You, in brackets. We've got Take It to the Streets. Yeah, so we've got some different stuff, but the thing is that this is not showing is the musos. Now, I'm going to assume there might be, hopefully, some liner notes inside. And yes, we have an inner lyric info sleeve here. So lyrics on that side. Nice one. Sit up. That's really not good television, is it now? All right, behave yourself, Quincy. All right. Here we are. Hi. Yeah. So oh boy. All right. I'll hold it this side. Anyway, yeah. So we've got let's have a look who we've got on here. I've got Ashford and Simpson on some vocals. Oh, so Shaka Khan. Let's have Paddy Austin's there. Luther Vandross is there. We've got Michael Brecker. We've got Anthony Jackson on bass. Look at that, Hubert Laws again. Herbie is on his own song there on electric piano there. Let's have a look. We've got where am I looking? Oh, sorry, here. Paddy Austin there. Sorry, did I already look at that? Oh, more Herbie Hancock there on Superwoman. Going down here. Oh, Hubert Laws again. Bud Shake, Jerome Richardson. Geez, he gets everybody in here. All right. I'm just going back through the names. There's harps and stuff in it. Anyway, Leon Pendarvis. There's doing some arranging. Anyway, you get the idea. Lots of Eric Gale, Melvin Wawa Watson. Woohoo! Yeah. Gwen Guthrie. We're talking, yeah. Quincy just makes a call and the people come. Which is pretty typical of his 70s stuff, which sometimes makes it quite good, obviously. So, yeah, apart from that, look, it's 1978. This is when he was starting to produce. Well, he'd already started producing Brothers Johnson. He was doing Michael Jackson's Off the Wall, wasn't he, by then? So he's been Mr. Big Name by then. And this is on A&M. So It's not on his Quest records or whatever it was called, was it? That must have come after this, maybe. Still got Quincy Jones Productions, but not the Quest. But anyway, oh, there. Without the thing, it's very shiny. Without the sleeve. So, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Empty box now. That will wrap it up. Thanks for bearing with me. I'll see you next time.